Hello everyone, welcome back to Mad About Cards and Crafts. Today I am sharing the Campfire Fairies from 7Kids Craft. This is a stamp set that is part of the July release. I will link all of the products in the description box below. I colored up my cuties using Zig markers. All of those marker colors will be listed in the description box below. I am going to take some art glitter glue and some crystal art glitter fine white glitter, and I am going to put a little shine on this fairy's wings. Now I got a little heavy-handed and it's going to look terrible, but if you look at the end pictures, you'll see that it actually came out quite beautiful. You can still see the detail of the wings through the fairy dust because that art glitter glue does dry clear. Now, Kelly usually sells the art glitter glue. I also have purchased it on Amazon. I think that it's a fabulous glue. One of the things that I like is that it dries clear. And if I get it in spots that I don't want it, then I can wipe it up and I don't see it like I do with some other glues. I am going to ink. I did do the blonde fairy's wings as well, but I did use a lighter hand. This is something new to me. This is the Lawn Fawn Liquid Stardust, and I thought that I would try it out. I did put it onto that fire, and if you angle the card, you can see it. It's obviously not as prominent as the glitter itself. This is Mowed Lawn, and I am using the MFT border hillside stencil. I'm going to put a couple layers of that Mowed Lawn, and then I will come back in a little bit with the same stencil, and I will add a slight little, I'll do a little bit more shading so that I get a little bit of interest on that hillside that you can see. I'm not sure you're going to see it as well in the card as you will in person, or on the computer as you will in person. I am adding a little bit of glow behind my fire. I started with some wild honey, then I cleaned off my brush and I came back in with a little bit of candied apple, and I absolutely love that effect. This is Seedless Preserves, and all of these are Distress Oxide. I am blending on Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I will bring in some chipped sapphire and blend that a little bit more, and I will go over this sky a couple of times. It will show up right now a little bit blotchy, and that's only because the ink has not fully dried on the panel, but when you see the final card, you will see that it blended absolutely beautifully, and I was really happy with the way that this night sky turned out. I have not made a lot of night skies. This is it may be my first, but I'd love to know, what are your favorite colors to create a night sky with? I used, again, Seedless Preserves Chipped Sapphire. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of black soot and add that just around the edges of this panel, and this card panel is cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My card base is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I am using not Pink Fresh, Paper Tray Inks white cardstock, and I believe that is 100 pound. Again, all of the products will be listed in the description box below. I do use affiliate links, so if you click on those and make a purchase, I do receive a small commission at no cost to you. So I appreciate you doing so. Now I'm going to put this black on, and then I'm going to come back in with the chipped sapphire and blend that in a little bit more. I will come back in again with the Seedless Preserves to smooth everything out. I decided to spray the background with my Frost shimmer from Imagine Crafts instead of water, just to get that little bit of texture that you can get with the Distress Oxide. I have to say though, when I use it with my Distress inks, I get a really beautiful shimmer and shine, and I don't get that with the Distress Oxides. So I don't think that I would use a shimmer spray again with the Distress Oxides. I think maybe because of the I think it just dulls the shine that could be on there, but I make up for that in just a minute. I'm going to just dab that up just a little bit, and then I will come back in with my Starry stencil from Lawn Fawn. This is a brand new stencil to me. I decided that I would use the Gina K Designs Glitz Glitter Gel, and mine is getting towards the bottom, so it was a little bit thicker, maybe drier than it was when I first opened it up, which is just fine because I have used it quite a bit, but I get the most beautiful stars, excuse me, from this. This is an old butter knife that I had here, and so I'm just using that as my palette knife, and you see how it's a little bit chunky. That's typically not how it is when you first open up the jar, so that tells me that, you know, I really need to start using it up before it dries out. I did go over the entire sky, and I did go around the fire, and I'm going to gently lift this up. I do have my fan going in the room, so this dries really quickly. It's not a really heavy coat of the gel, so it dried really well. I'm taking that paper tray ink panel, and I am going to put some art glitter glue on the back of my scene and glue that to my card, and then I will start building my scene. I will lay down the fire, and then I'll decide where I want that little hut. I think the hut looks like it's a flower petal, which is why I use those pretty pink colors with my Zig markers. I am going to put it just on the edge of that border, and then I will add some foam tape to the back of both of the fairies and the fire. So the fairies and the fire are both going to be popped up. I will take the art glitter glue and glue down the log, and then next to the log I will glue the purse. If you look closely, the purse is not colored in where the strap is separated from the body of the purse, and so I will come in later off screen and use my Dove blender pen and the Mowed Lawn, and I will just fill that in. If you have never used a Dove blender pen, it is an absolutely fantastic product to have in your arsenal. It fills in, like I said, sometimes when you use a scan and cut, which is how I cut these out, it doesn't cut the fine pieces inside, and so I just use that pen to fill in the color, and then it just blends right into the background. So I would recommend for you to head over to Kelly's shop. These little fairies are going to be a continued item in her releases, so I am sure that many of these will begin to coordinate and work well with others. And I think that they are just absolutely adorable. If you didn't see my Ice Cream Kids set card last week, that was the other set. So she released 3 sets: the fairies, the Ice Cream Kids, and then the Ice Cream Parlor. And I just think that it was a wonderful release. I'm taking the residual ink that's on my brush, that's the Seedless Preserves. I did put the negative of this die cut into my Misti, and then I lined up my stamp that way, so you can see the stamp is already in there. I'm going to take some VersaFine Black Onyx ink, and I'm going to stamp this. And you can see that I have 2 other happies cut out, so I am going to stack these so that I have a chipboard piece. Then I will use the so right here, I'm just using what's left of that white paper. And again, I'm coming in with the brush. I didn't re-ink it. And I will stamp that, which is everything. So the sentiment will say happy everything in the black onyx ink. I'm going to take my guillotine trimmer and I will cut that down. And then I will use my T-square ruler to line it up, make sure that I have it on straight. And even with that Glitz glitter gel, it glues beautifully with that art glitter glue to the background. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe. Hit the bell or ring the bell so that you receive notifications whenever I upload a video, and leave me a comment below. Like I asked, what are your favorite night sky colors? What colors do you use? I have another video coming up. I'm doing a hop at the end of the month that I think I may do another night scene, and so I would love to know what your favorite colors are. Maybe I could switch this up and get a different look. So here's where I'm stacking those up, and I have that white on the sides, and I decide to just use my Amazon brush and go around the edges of that so it doesn't show up and it blends a little bit more with that night sky. And then, as I said, I'm going to take my T-square ruler and I'm going to line that up. I'm just cleaning up. There was a little bit of glue that was on the sides, the inside of some of the letters, and so I was just cleaning that up. Here's where I use my guillotine trimmer, and that is pretty much going to be my card once I glue all of this down. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure, like I said, to head over to Kelly's shop. Not only does she have her own line of stamps, but she also carries, she has, if you're looking for slimline dies, she has some wonderful Whimsy, look under Whimsy stamps. She has some wonderful slimline dies in her shop. And yeah, just go over there and check out what she carries. I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised. I am going to say goodbye, and until next time, I'm going to ask you to have a fabulous day. Thanks for watching.